You need a break. This is Pastor Elliott Cooke from Jackson Street Baptist Church, here to give you that break. Being a parent today, it's difficult. We sacrifice so much for our children, don't we? And we just don't take the time to take inventory, to think things through, to process whether we're doing things right or not, and to take time sometimes for ourselves. We feel so guilty. We sacrifice so much. I have a story from the Old Testament. It's from the book of Job, chapter 1. It is a story about a parent. He had 10 children, 7 sons, and 3 daughters. And he loved his children. He was a righteous man. His children have grown at this point, and they're having parties for their birthdays. And they invite each other over, and they hold a feast, a festival, to celebrate the birthday. And it might take days. And it's 10 in the family. The sons are doing this. So there's at least 7 times the family's gathering together. Perhaps they do it for their sisters as well. But they're celebrating for days on end. And Job sees his children, and he loves his children, and he knows that they're drinking at these celebrations, and he says, I'm going to arrange for a sacrifice for my children on their behalf, because in their celebration and in their drinking, they may have done something wrong. They may have sinned against God. So I'm going to provide for a sacrifice. Now, there's no indication in the story that the children were involved. It was Job who did this for them, apparently. And this was his habit. Every time they would get together to celebrate a birthday, a feast, a festival, he would make sacrifices on behalf of his children. Do you make sacrifices on behalf of your children? Of course you do. Of course you do, right? You get up early to make them lunch for school, to send them off. You lay out their clothes the night before. You tuck them in with a story, and you sing to them, and the game's on, but you have to sit down and read the story and sing the songs to your children, and you get to the game and it's already halftime. Oh, well, the children are worth it, right? And what do you do when they come home from school? Mom, you're working on their homework. Dad, you might be checking their homework later that evening. These are the things that we do. There's one last cookie left. Who gets it? The child. It's never one of us adults. When we think of where we're going to go on vacation, it has to be family friendly. It can't be an adult vacation for mom and dad, and it has to be for the children. And so you go to Disneyland instead of where you want to go, or whatever, and you choose locations. Everything seems to be about the children. Job understood this, and he cared and loved for his children. He sacrificed for his children. We're sacrificing for our children. The question is, what do we really, really sacrifice? Job was concerned with his children's spiritual development. He wasn't providing the wine and the roast beast for the feast. No, that isn't what he provided. He provided spiritually for his children. After the feasting was over, he cared about their relationship with God. We sacrifice so much for our children, sometimes on the front end, and don't care about some of those other things that are even more important than the physical things that they need, the spiritual things. Are you sacrificing your Sunday mornings, bringing your kids to church? Job would have, and he was a righteous man. You want to be a righteous person? You want to be a good parent? Get your children to church. It's the one sacrifice, the first sacrifice that has a promise for you, that you will live long, that you will prosper, to obey God's word, to get into God's word, to be in fellowship, to use your gifts and talents in ministry. Doesn't have to consume much. Here at Jackson Street Baptist Church, we don't require members to come out 4 times a week and give hours and hours of their time. That's voluntary. Many do, but that isn't required. We just ask that you get your family to fellowship. And that's an important part of being a member of a church. A lot of you have been asking about membership and what that entails. Find a church, first of all, that you like, that you love, and go there consistently with your family. Start receiving the blessings. Join it later. Talk to your pastor. He'll tell you what is required. God bless you. Take time. Make that sacrifice for your kids. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, see you Sunday.